Hello, my name is Vachaspati and my surname is Bimari. Professionally speaking, I am an IELTS and PT instructor and I have been teaching this preparation course for the last 3 decades. Today, I am going to give you a brief introductions about IELTS speaking module. So what happens in IELTS speaking module? Okay, the IELTS speaking test will take between 11 to 14 minutes. What does this mean? When you go to appear in IELTS speaking test, your test lasts from 11 to 14 minutes. What I mean here, if you are able to give extended answers, extended and logical answers, sometimes your IELTS speaking test even lasts for 20 minutes also. When I took IELTS in 2011, I am not pretty sure, I think my IELTS test lasted for more than 25 minutes because at that time I gave extended and logical answers. So, and it consists of 3 sections. What does it mean? In IELTS speaking, part 1, part 2 and part 3. In part 1 you have to give, examiner will ask you questions based on everyday situations like what's your name, where are you from, what kinds of hobbies do you have, how do you spend your time, do you listen music. They will ask you questions about yourself, about your family, about your work, about your study and about music and about your daily activities. They will not ask you questions like, okay, who is the president of America, who invented atom bomb. They will not ask you questions based on history, geography, philosophy, mathematics. They will ask you questions based on everyday situations so that as test takers feel easy to give answer. Like for example, family. What type of family do you have? Well, I do have a joint family. There are 11 members in my family. They are my parents, brothers, my nephew and my sister-in-law. Okay, so what you need to do in IELTS speaking part 1, whenever the examiner asks you questions in IELTS speaking part 1, please don't give one word and two-word answers. If you give one word and two-word answers, IELTS examiner will not get chance to evaluate your English proficiency. You don't have to give one word and two-word answers. For example, can you tell me something about your hometown? Okay, if you give answers like this, Viratnagar, Bhairava, Janakpur, okay, and IELTS examiner will not get opportunity to judge your English proficiency. What you need to do in IELTS speaking part 1, you have to give answer to the point and you have to always give true reasons. For instance, can you tell me about your hometown? Now, I am giving answers. Well, the name of my hometown is Viratnagar. It's really vibrant and sophisticated city. It lies nearly 500 kilometers far from capital city Kathmandu. And Viratnagar is a really stunning city. It is located nearby India border. So what I have done here, I have used some words: vibrant, sophisticated, stunning, which. Okay. When you use which relative pronouns, which is what? Relative clause. We use relative clause to give additional informations about any person, place or thing. Like Viratnagar is one of the vibrant cities which is located nearby India border. And it is considered to be one of the picturesque cities in Nepal. So, which, I have used here which. So using which, I have given some additional informations about Viratnagar. And using vibrant, sophisticated and picturesque, these are lexical resources, wide range of vocabulary. I have described Viratnagar, okay? I have described Viratnagar well. You need certain adjectives to describe certain places, okay? So what you need to do in IELTS speaking part 1, you have to give answer to the point and you always have to add two reasons in order to extend your answers. Are you getting me? Okay, now next example, okay? And now I'm talking about, okay, how do IELTS examiner, evaluate your score? when you go to appear on an IELTS speaking test, how will they evaluate your score? So the four parameters against which your speaking test will be scored are: number one, coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion. What do you mean by coherence? Coherence means connectivity of idea. How you are connecting the idea. Coherence. And cohesion means use of grammar. Okay. Use of relative clause. Use of articles. Coherence and cohesion. I mean, you must be able to connect your ideas very logically. In order to connect the ideas, you can use linking words like in additions to, furthermore, similarly, what is more, on the contrary, on the other hand, overall, finally, eventually, firstly, lastly, secondly, like this. And next is what? Grammatical range and accuracy. What do you mean by grammatical range and accuracy? Okay, you must be able to construct sentences grammatically correct. I mean, you have to know how to use tense properly. You have to know how to use reported speech properly, direct speech, indirect speech. And next, you have to know how to use active voice and passive voice. In IELTS speaking test, most of the times you have to use active voice. Once in a while, you can use even passive voice. It doesn't make any difference. But IELTS speaking test should be, it's very, 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 very informal. I mean, you have to use conversational language. You don't have to use formal and academic language. You have to use the language as if you are talking to your brothers, sisters and siblings. Okay. Now, lexical resources. What do you mean by lexical resources? Here, lexical resources means wide range of vocabulary. For example, what kind of book do you love to read? Well, I love to read books which have been written by eminent and distinguished writers of England and America. Most of the time, I keep myself busy in reading dramas, okay, dramas which have been written by celebrated writers like Shakespeare, okay, Ernest Hemingway, Bertrand Russell. I mean, you have to use lexical resources. Here, what I have done here, celebrated writers, eminent writers, distinguished writers, okay. Using some adjectives, I have shown to my examiner that I am very good at English, or I mean, I have wide range of vocabulary. So next, fluency. So what do you mean by fluency? Fluency means ability to speak without excessive pause. Okay. So as you begin to speak English, if you take too much pause, okay, it can create negative impressions to your examiner. You have to speak English fluently. Fluently doesn't mean that you should speak English unnecessarily fast. Fluency means you should be able to speak English without excessive pause. Okay. For example, how often do you listen music? Well, most of the time I listen music. Whenever I get bored, whenever I feel unhappy, sometimes whenever I feel sad, at that time I listen music. In addition to, when somebody, okay, makes me extremely happy, I mean, whenever I find myself in inexpressible happiness, at that time I listen music, because whenever I'm happy, I can't control my emotions. At that time I listen music. Here, what I am doing, I am not speaking English unnecessarily fast. I am speaking English in what? Moderate pace. Here, M-O-D-E-R-A-T. Moderate means neither fast nor slow. You have to speak English in moderate pace. Here, P-S-E, pace means what? Movement. Okay. Now, next is called what? Task completion. What do you mean by task completion? Here, you must speak English. Okay. You must speak English on the content. Okay. For example, I vividly remember nearly 15 years ago, when I was conducting IELTS mock test, I gave questions like speak about your best friend to one of my students who was appearing in IELTS speaking test. And what he said, okay, the name of my best friend is Kapil, and he is very, very handsome, and he is very, very rich, and he has magnificent buildings and a Kathmandu. He has a lot of money. He goes to restaurants and eat different kinds of foods. Though he spoke English well, but he didn't speak, okay, on content. I mean, he didn't speak on the topic. Okay. how can somebody be your best friend? That you need to explain. Well, like speak about your best friend. If you get questions like this, you have to speak on the topic. Well, there are so many friends in my life, but a friend whom I can never forget is Kapil. There are so many reasons why I consider him my intimate friends. First of all, whenever I suffer from any kind of problem, that can be financial and emotional problems, my friend named Ramesh helps me unconditionally. I mean, after helping me, he doesn't expect anything in return. That's why he is my best friend. In addition to him, why I consider him my bosom friend, there is another reasons. Once, when I was hospitalized in teaching hospital because of my illness, at that time I didn't have money. I mean, I was suffering from financial trouble. At that time, my friend Ramesh Kapil, what he did, even though he didn't have money, he borrowed money from his relatives and he treated me well. I mean, he paid my doctor's fee and he gave me new life. Okay, additionally, my best friend Kapil is very good at English and I am not good at English since I couldn't get chance to learn in English environment, English medium schools. Whenever I have problems in Ielts, my friend Kapil, who has exceptional command in English, he teaches me English without expecting any help from me. These are the reasons why I consider him my best friend. Here, what I have done here I have proved why Kapil is my best friend. I mean, you have to speak on the content. Okay, if you don't speak on the content, you will not get very good score in IELTS. Okay. So here, what I would like to tell you, what sort of questions examiner can ask you in IELTS speaking part 1. Just give me just 2 minutes only. So, dear students, in IELTS speaking part 1, examiner will ask you 4 questions only if you are able to give extended and logical answer. And if they need more time to judge your English, they can ask you even 6 to 8 questions only. If you can give extended and logical answers, and if they are happy with your English proficiency, they will give you very good score. Remember, first impression is last impression. Okay. As they begin to ask you few questions in IELTS speaking part 1, they can decide what score you deserve. Okay. So you have to give very extended and logical answers. For example, they will ask you questions like this. Can you see the screen? How often do you like to hang out with friends? So hang out means what? Visit. How often do you like to hang out with friends? If you give answers like this, sometimes once a week, once a month, it is also answer. But they won't give you good score if you give this kind of answers. How often do you hang out with your friends? Okay, you can give positive answers also and you can give negative answers also. Okay, how you should give answers? Let me give you answers. Let me teach you some. How often do you hang out with friends? At first you have to paraphrase the questions. Well, I love to visit with my intimate friends once in a while. So instead of hang out, what you can tell? Visit. You have to paraphrase the words. If you repeat the same words, examiner will notice, oh, this guy doesn't have wide range of vocabulary. Okay, you have to hang out words with synonyms. How often do you like to hang out with friends? Well, I love to visit my friends once in a while. I mean, whenever I'm free, especially I'm free on Saturday, since on that day I neither have to go to my business center nor I have to go to my office. On Saturday, I especially love to visit with my friends, especially in terrific and exotic places where I can refresh myself a lot. Okay, this is how you have to give answers. Okay, now how often do you like to hang out with friends? You can give positive answers, you can give negative answers. If you give negative answers, okay, it doesn't mean that examiner will feel hurt. Okay, so they can give you a score if your answer is full of logic. Like, how often do you like to hang out with friends? Well, to be quite honest with you, I do have very hectic schedule. I mean, I remain busy from morning to evening. I hardly have time to spend with my friends. I always remain busy to promote my business. That's why I never hang out with my friends. Okay, what I have done here, I have given the answers using nice vocabulary and using constructive sentences grammatically correct. There must be logic, and your sentence must be grammatically correct, and there must be wide range of what vocabulary. Next, who do you usually like to hang out with? Who do you usually like to hang out with? Uh, that's very interesting questions. I especially love to hang out with my girlfriend, and who has been dwelling in my heart for the last 3 years. I feel happy to spend my time with her since she's very, very caring, loving, compassionate, mind blowing, and talented too. So these are the reasons why I love to visit with my girlfriend. Okay. Now, where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? Where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? In Ielts speaking part 1, sometimes they can ask you questions, okay, based on the same questions, like it's talking about friends. Where do you want to visit? They can ask you same questions, four to five questions. Or if they think, okay, you are copying the answers, you have memorized the answers and you are giving answers, and they can suddenly change the topic, like, so how often do you play football? Okay, so what are your favorite hobbies? So do you listen music, and how do you help to poor people? Okay, and what time do you get up early in the morning, and what do you do? And how do you help your mothers, okay, in her domestic works? They can ask you different questions. One question is from family, one question from sport, and one question from music. And they can ask you 4 questions from hometown and 4 questions from music. Okay, it all depends on the mind. Now next questions. Where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? So where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? I'm giving very short answers, okay, which cannot impress to examiner. Where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? Supermarket, museum, zoo, beautiful parks. If you give the way I have just given answers, they won't feel happy and they will not give you a score. So let me repeat again. Where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? Okay, now I am giving extended answers. In as speaking part 1, you don't have to speak too much. You have to paraphrase the questions. You have to give 2 or 3 reasons only. Okay, if you speak unnecessarily long, and they won't like it. Okay, but in Ielts speaking part 1 is a discussion essay. There you have to speak a lot. Okay, now where do you like to go when you hang out with your friends? Well, there are different places where I love to go to hang out with my friends. First of all, I would like to talk about the picturesque city's name, Pokhara. I love to go with my intimate friends since I can enjoy the stunning view of snow-capped mountains. In addition to it, I love to go to Pokhara with my friends because I can get there well-equipped hotels where I can eat exuberant food items. Okay, so what I have done here, well-equipped hotels. It means the hotels which can give lots of facilities. And another adjective I have used, exuberant. Exuberant means tasty food items. Okay, and another adjective I have used, picturesque. Picturesque means beautiful. Okay, and instead of close friend, you can tell intimate friend and bosom friend also. B-O-S-O-M, bosom friend. Anyhow, you have to prove the examiner that you have wide range of what? Vocabulary. Next, do you like to go with a big group or just friends? Now, what tips I would like to give you, Sharmila and I forgot your name? Radhika. Sharmila and Radhika. Do you like to go with a big group or just few friends? In IELTS exam, whenever you get questions like or, okay, you have to speak on both sides. If you speak on one side only, okay, your answers will be less. So in IELTS exam, you have to speak as much as you can. Unless examiner stops you, okay, you should go on speaking. But keep in mind, examiner stops you in 2 kinds of situations. If you are giving very a boring answer, they say stop. And if you are giving extremely nice answers, and examiner has to conduct an IELTS exam to many students, always say stop. If he says stop, you should think he's telling to say stop because of two reasons. Okay, because if he gives more time to one student and he will not have time for other students. Okay, you should speak a lot but relevant answer. Now, do you like to go with a big group or just friends? What I mean here, if you get all questions in IELTS speaking test, you have to speak on both sides. Okay, now I am giving answer. Do you like to go with a big group or just few friends? Well, it depends on situations. Well means Mr. Feeler. Well means whatever you are listening and whatever you are telling, I am listening. Well doesn't mean that Ramro. Here, well means whatever you are telling, I am listening. Well, it all depends on my mood. Sometimes I love to go with so many friends, and once in a while I love to go with one friend or two friends only. It all depends on mood. I mean, whenever I have to go to picnic, whenever I love to go to picnic, I love to go with more friends. It may be 100 and 200 friends with whom I can share my tender feelings. If I go there with few friends, they will be unable to give us enough entertainment. More friends, more entertainment, more ideas, and even more money also. We can collect more money. I mean, sometimes I love to go with so many friends with whom I can share feelings. Sometimes I love to go with one friend, with whom I can open my heart and tell all my sufferings and happiness. It all depends on me. Okay. So in this way you have to give answers. So dear students, in IELTS speaking part 1, examiner will ask you 4 questions only if you are able to give extended and logical answers. I mean, if they need more time to judge your English proficiency, they can ask even 7 to 8 questions only. They can ask questions about one topic and they can change the topic abruptly also, promptly, suddenly also. So you have to give answers. You don't have to give one-word answers. You have to paraphrase the questions, and you always have to give 2 reasons, and you can give even examples also. Like why do you love to visit with your friends, not with your parents? Well, I love to hang out with my friends because when I'm with my friends, I feel comfortable. I mean, whatever feelings that come in my mind, I can share with them very openly. So whereas my parents are very, very strict, and whenever I express my feelings, whenever I tell my feelings, sometimes I may feel odd. For example, last time I fell in love with a beautiful girl named Radha. At that time I couldn't express all these things to my friends, but I easily share all these things with my friends, and who helped me a lot. And like this, you have to give answers. So dear students, today I have taught you how you should give answers in IELTS speaking part 1. I teach IELTS offline and online. I teach online in the entire world, and I teach physical and offline class in different consultancies in Kathmandu. Today I am making this video at Aussie International Consultancy. It is located on the way to Border site. It's nearby Cable Tower Charter. I teach at IELTS. If you want to join my online and offline class, please give me a call at my WhatsApp number. And feel free to contact me. Thank you very much. At last, I would like to request you, please subscribe my channel and share it in Facebook. Thank you very much.